ISO 9001, ETL Listed and CE often appear together on a supplier page, but they are not interchangeable badges. One speaks mainly about a management system, one can identify third-party product certification to a safety standard, and one is part of the manufacturer's conformity responsibility for the European market. Read them with the same six-field lens: who owns or issued it, which legal entity it names, what scope or models it covers, which standard or legislation applies, whether the status is current, and where the evidence can be verified. Before accepting any mark, write down the actual decision. Are you qualifying a supplier's management system, confirming that one fan configuration is safety listed for North America, or checking documentation for placing a product on the EU market? The answer tells you which evidence path to follow. A crisp logo without entity, scope, model and status is only a prompt to investigate. ISO 9001 specifies requirements for a quality management system. Organizations may choose external certification, but ISO itself does not certify companies or products. For procurement, the useful fields are the named organization and site, the certification body, the standard edition, the audited scope, and the current cycle or surveillance status. That evidence can support how a supplier controls processes. It is not a safety approval for an individual fan. Longwell's current bilingual certificate names Ningbo Longwell Electric Technology Company Limited and describes a quality management scope covering the design and manufacturing for export of vacuum ventilation products, including ventilation fans and home appliance products. It also shows the certification body, issue information, and validity cycle. Those words, not the decorative ISO symbol, define the claim this document can support. The certificate does not automatically prove that every catalog model meets a product safety standard, that a particular performance point is guaranteed, or that every optional voltage and component is approved for every market. Those questions require model-specific drawings, test data, listings, declarations, or other applicable evidence. Keep the management system claim valuable by not stretching it into a product claim. The ETL listed mark is issued by Intertek, a recognized testing laboratory, for products evaluated to applicable safety standards. Depending on the listing, the mark may carry US and Canadian identifiers. Unlike the ISO example, the central question is not the supplier's general process system. It is whether the exact product, model family, and construction you are buying appear under the correct standard and market coverage. Search Intertek's official product directory using the company, brand, model, or certificate information. Match the manufacturer, model family, product category, standard, and mark identifiers. If a brochure shows a control number, treat it as a lookup key, not proof by itself. The directory result and the product label should agree with the configuration on your purchase specification. A different motor, voltage, controller, wiring method, enclosure, or thermal protection arrangement can change the evaluated construction. Do not assume that a listing for one model extends to every visually similar fan. Ask the supplier to map your exact ordered configuration to the listing record and control label. If that mapping cannot be shown, keep the compliance item open. CE marking is not simply a universal third-party certificate. The manufacturer must identify the EU legislation that applies, perform the required conformity assessment, prepare technical documentation, issue and sign an EU Declaration of Conformity, and affix the mark correctly. A notified body participates only when the applicable conformity procedure requires one. The legal and technical route depends on the product and how it is supplied. Look for the manufacturer and product identifier, applicable legislation, reference standards, signatory, place and date on the declaration. Then confirm that the technical file supports the declaration with risk assessment, design information, and relevant test evidence. A test report can be one input, but it is not automatically the declaration. Also verify whether the fan is a complete product or a component intended for incorporation into another machine. For ISO 9001, verify the legal entity, site, management system scope, certification body, and current status. For ETL, verify the exact model or family, evaluated standard, manufacturer, market identifiers and directory record. For CE, verify product identity, applicable EU legislation, the signed declaration and supporting technical documentation. The three paths may appear in one supplier file, but they answer different procurement risks. The best compliance request is specific: name the ordered model, electrical configuration, end product or component status, destination market, and required standards. Then ask for evidence whose entity, scope, model, and dates all match that request. A supplier should be able to explain both what its documents cover and what they do not. For your next fan project, verify the exact model and market before treating any logo as approval.